Hey everyone, and welcome back to our Infinite Flight video training series. My name is Mark. Today we'll be going over the approach and landing in the Dash 8 Q400. In our takeoff video, we departed out of San Jose. Now we are inbound to San Francisco for a landing on runway 28 left. For the sake of time, I've already started my descent through 3000 and have my approach speed set at 210 knots, and I'm on a heading that is going to send me across the localizer, which is the extended center line of the runway. The reason you want to intercept the localizer from an angle is to cause that needle in the compass that you see there on the HUD to start to move, which is basically telling you the closer you get to that center line. So that's going to give you some time to actually make your turn to line up with that extended center line or the localizer to line up for approach. As you saw, I already had my flap set at 5. I was at an indicated airspeed of 210 knots. Now that I'm established on the localizer or close to it, I'm actually going to begin to slow down even more to 180 knots. And once I reach 180, then I'll go ahead and go to flaps 10. Here I will maintain 2,500 feet and 180 knots until I am established on the glide slope that you can see to the right side of the HUD next to the altimeter. Okay, so I just disengaged the autopilot and now I am hand flying the aircraft, which is it's something that I prefer to do, is fly the approach manually instead of using autopilot. And something that I really want to emphasize here is when you are flying an approach, you want to control the rate of descent with your throttle and not by pitching the nose of the aircraft up and down so much. Once I reach around 130 knots, I'll go ahead and lower the flaps to 15 degrees, and that is going to be my setting for landing. Keep in mind that when you land, you want your flaps again to be at 15 degrees, and you want to touch down between 100, 105, maybe 110 knots, depending on the weight of the aircraft. But I try to set down around 100 to 105. Now you will start to see I'm going to be working the throttle constantly to control the rate of descent while I'm on the final approach for runway 28 left into San Francisco. Very small, very minor corrections as far as with any kind of turn to keep that localizer centered, again, which is the extended center line of the runway, but controlling my rate of descent, the altitude, with that throttle, as you can see on the left side. I'm constantly working that throttle, and especially in windier conditions, you're going to have to work the throttle a little bit more. Until you're comfortable doing that, feel free to set the auto throttle or the airspeed to around 110, 115 knots for your final approach on short final. Again, flaps 15. I'm working that throttle to control my rate of descent. And when you're on approach, typically you want to focus your feet per minute around minus 600 to minus 900 feet per minute for your rate of descent. Again, just controlling that with very small, very minor corrections with the throttle. And as I'm getting closer to the threshold of the runway, still making some minor corrections, but I'm fairly on point with the localizer as well as the glide slope for the ILS. When you feel yourself starting to get a little bit low, add a little bit of power. Don't push the power all the way up, just add very little power. If you see that you're climbing too high or you're above the glide slope, then reduce your power and just increase your sink rate to get back on the glide slope. So we're on final approach. I'm adding a little bit more power, not too much. The winds you can see are moving the plane very little, but I'm just constantly working that throttle. Again, wanting to touch down between 100 to 105 knots, maybe 110 depending on the weight of your aircraft. I'm going to shoot for around 100 to 105. A good aiming point is when you cross the threshold to be at around 50 feet AGL. And then right before you touch down in the Dash 8, you want to add just a little bit of power to reduce that sink rate right as you begin your flare, and then come down for a smooth touchdown. As soon as my gear touched, then I will apply reverse thrust and hold the reverse thrust till around 60 knots. And for me, I like to move to the external view just so I can see the taxiway better, I can see other aircraft better instead of from the HUD view. So I will taxi like this so I can have a better view of everything that's around me. You may do something a little bit different. So now that I've landed, I've disarmed the spoilers, taxiing off the runway, and once I cross the hold short line that you can see just in front of me, I'll announce to Unicom that I'm clear of activity.
San Francisco Unicom, November 7-3 Mike Delta is clear of all runways.
And as long as there's nothing that's in my way or there's no other traffic, I'll go ahead and proceed my taxi to the gate. Well guys, I hope that this tutorial today has helped you to have a better understanding on how to land with the Dash 8. I know it's a little bit different. You're landing a little bit slower than what we've had with the passenger liners, the jets. Turboprops are a little bit different, but hopefully this has helped you out some on the speeds of the flap settings, so on and so forth. So again, if you have any questions regarding the Dash 8, feel free to message me on the forum, or you can leave comments below. I look forward to hearing from you. I appreciate you taking a few moments to watch this video tutorial on how to land the Dash 8 Q400. I'll see you in the infinite flight skies. Happy and safe landings. Now be sure to subscribe for more great tutorials, as well as you can check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Again, this is Mark. Thanks for watching.